Well, Carnival has just made a change. We also have some parents upset that their kid got kicked out of an adults only place. And we got a brand new cruise line saying, you know what? I think we're going to do a 128-day cruise. That's a lot for a new cruise line. Yeah, all that and more on today's episode of The Cruise Show.
All aboard! Your ship is leaving. Talking about everything going on in cruising. It's the Little Loca time. It's the cruise show. It's the cruise show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Little Loca. Welcome to The Cruise Show. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's everything going on in cruising. It's for your face. For your face on a Tuesday the 2nd of December, 2025. And let's talk about a change that Carnival Cruise Line is making. I don't think this will impact people in a big way, but they changed their insurance provider for travel insurance. We preach it all the time. If you're going to go on a cruise, get yourself some travel insurance. Either get the travel insurance that the cruise line offers or get some third-party insurance. And the price for cruise line insurance is pretty reasonable. Carnival's is only $49 for their basic insurance coverage. They went to a new provider. It's just going to change two things. There was, in the previous version of the insurance, there was a medical evacuation benefit of $30,000, a repatriation of remains benefit for $30,000. Those two have been combined for a new benefit of $50,000. Now, some people are saying, well, are we losing out on $10,000? Not really, because you're going to use one or the other. You either need to be, medically evacuated if you're still in the land of the living. But if you're not in the land of the living, then you need money to get the body back home. That's insurance is some harsh stuff. But yeah, so that's changed from the two separate benefits to now a single benefit. And then the other thing is they had accidental medical expense benefit of $10,000 and sickness medical expense of $10,000. That's now been combined into a single coverage of $20,000. Again, probably won't impact a lot of people. But certainly, this goes into effect December the 1st, 2025, so just yesterday. So if you're out there cruising on Carnival and you have the coverage, just know that your provider has changed and possibly your coverage has changed, but it doesn't sound like that big of a deal. It's not that interesting of a story, really, but selfishly, I'm throwing it out there just to remind everybody, get yourself some travel insurance. Because nothing's a problem until it's a problem. And when you have a problem on a cruise ship like that, it could be life-changing money. If all of a sudden you need medevac, heaven forbid that all of a sudden you're trying to figure out how to pay to get a body back somewhere. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the floor. Okay, shout out Ludacris. The next story is near and dear to my heart. They have started construction on the new cruise terminal on the streets of Philadelphia. Philiport has announced that construction has commenced on the new Philiport Cruise Terminal. It's set to be completed in April of 2026, which is good because I'm going to be on one of the first cruises out of Philadelphia in a long time on the La Little Loca Bermuda Triangle group cruise. I think there's still some spaces on it, but I think we already have a big group of about 300 people. So if you want to join 300 people and me and the lovely Jenny B and cruise the Bermuda Triangle from Philly to Bermuda down to Charleston, South Carolina, back up to Philadelphia, come on with us. It's early April. It's on a Norwegian cruise ship. That's booked through our travel partner, Where's Walter. Fantastic travel agent. If you need help with your travel, Where's Walter. And I'll leave a link to the group cruise down in the description if you want to go. But yeah, this is going to create 2,185 new and indirect or direct and indirect jobs. That should increase revenue in the city by $300 million. And this could be a new beginning for Philadelphia as a cruise port. I think there's a river there, and I think the airport's near the river. This cruise terminal is going to be near the airport, and it's going to be near the river so that you can get out to the ocean. Let's talk about another cruise port city that is booming. The new projection for Galveston in 2026 is that they will do 3.9 million passengers in 2026. I already said in 2026, didn't I? Yes, I did. But it's going to encompass 445 sailings with an increase of about 300,000 passengers over this year. Of course, we got the projections coming out from AAA that about 21.7 million Americans will go on a cruise in 2026, and Galveston is certainly getting their fair share. Cruising in Galveston generates about 4,547 jobs, $291 million in personal income, and $733 million in business revenue. Those are all braggadocious numbers to say business is booming here in Texas. Come on down and get yourself on a cruise ship. City planners there are already worried that the infrastructure they have in place not big enough. Maybe we need a 5th cruise terminal. Maybe we need a 6th cruise terminal. You got all the major cruise lines dabbling there in Galveston. MSC just made an appearance on the scene back in November. So Galveston continues to be the sweet spot for cruising, certainly out of Texas. Okay, let's talk about a brand new cruise line. Now, let's talk about this. Margaritaville at Sea here in Tampa. Margaritaville at Sea Islander has been doing tattoos on board for a while. Now, used to only could get a tattoo on a Virgin Voyages cruise ship, but they've had a tattoo artist on the Islander for, I think, most of this year. Been working out of the spa area. Well, now they've carved out a dedicated tattoo space on Margaritaville at Islander. Ooh, I'm a little hyper today. Too much coffee. They've carved out a dedicated tattoo shop parlor on the Margaritaville at Sea Islander, where you can go and get a tattoo. Tattoos start about $75. I've seen a lot of pictures on social media of people getting tattoos on Margaritaville at Sea. There's always some question. Should you get a tattoo while you're on your cruise? Yes, no, maybe. You can't expose your tattoo really to water and stuff like that. So some people say, if I'm going to go on a cruise vacation, why am I going to get a tattoo? Then I can't get in the pool, can't get in the beach, that kind of thing. But then I think a lot of people do it on the last day. It's cool. I think it's pretty interesting, and I'm glad that it's there. Margaritaville at Sea is a unique cruising experience. I went on that cruise ship earlier this year. Was it? Yeah, we're almost at the end of this year. Earlier this year. I like it. I like it. I think it's a great option for people cruising out of Tampa. What do you think? Would you get some ink? Would you get some ink on a cruise ship? I've been watching Ink Master. Every time I have 0 tattoos, 0 currently, and I'm 54. So I don't know. Am I past the age? Maybe there is no age, but I might. Every time I watch Ink Master, I think about it would be cool to get some sort of nautical tattoo, like an anchor or anything. I almost got a tattoo on Virgin Voyages. There was a pinup in the book that the artist had on Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady that really looked a lot like Jenny, like a brunette, vivacious, curvy. I texted her a picture and I said, hey, I think I want to get this tattoo. She's like, man, if we ever get tattoos, we should do it together. And that's years ago, and we still haven't got a tattoo. I should have got the pinup. What do you think about getting a tattoo on a cruise ship? Leave a comment below. I got to save the wacky parent stories till the end. Let's do a quick public service announcement. Cunard has adjusted Queen Mary 2's itinerary due to a delayed departure. Who cares, right? If you're not on the Queen Mary, it doesn't matter. But I'll throw it out there. They had to leave New York late. This cruise started back on the 26th of November, 2025. So it's been going on for a few days. Because of the late departure, they're now going to skip. They're now going to skip their call to, I think it's St. Kitts. Yeah, they were going to go to St. Kitts on December the 4th, but they're not going to do it. So instead, they're going to have an overnight in Bridgetown in Barbados, and that's where they're going. So again, probably doesn't matter unless you're on the cruise ship. Queen Mary adjusts the schedule. Now let's talk about a cruise company that's essentially brand new that's announced their longest sailing ever. We're talking about the kind of luxury brand for MSC. We're talking about Explora's Journey. They're announcing their inaugural world cruise in 2029. It's a 128-day voyage from Dubai going all the way to Barcelona. Look at this, 128 days, 12 overnight stays, 29 countries and territories, 63 unique destinations, and 4 continents. Could you stay on a cruise ship for 128 days? I don't know if I could do it. The longest I've been on a cruise ship is 26 days, almost a full month. It was fine. I went to a lot of cool places. I ended up in Northern Europe, and it was a transatlantic. That was beautiful, but that's a long time to be in a small cruise cabin without all of your stuff. Could you do it? I don't know if I could do it. Could you? Leave a comment below. Now, a couple stories of parents Well, let me do a little housekeeping first. I'm all over the place today. Apologies. It's Tuesday, and we haven't done a live show in a while. And dang it, I'm ready to do a live show. I just canceled a cruise so that I could do something else. And so I will talk about that on the live show tonight. Of course, it'll be me and the lovely Jenny B. 8 p.m. for people that are part of our Patreon community, patreon.com/La Lido Loca. $5 a month, you're going to get a weekly Monday morning checkup video from me, what's going on this week in La Lido Loca, and you're going to get a couple live shows a month. So the first live show for December going to be 8 p.m. tonight on Patreon, patreon.com/La Lido Loca. And then we got the regular Cruise Day Night Live happening tonight, 9 p.m. right here on this YouTube channel. Come on out, ask your questions, and I'll tell you about the cruise I canceled. It cost me some money, and it cost me some loyalty days toward my, well, I'll save it for tonight. There's that. Now, let's talk about this situation that's kind of blown up over on Reddit. There was a cruiser that paid $600 for access to the spa. I'm trying to see what cruise line it was on. I'm not sure what cruise line it was on. $600 for access to the adults only spa. The spa is for adults only. This is clearly marked on the signage. They paid their $600. When they got in there to enjoy their spa activities, there was a parent in there with a young child, somewhere between 5 and 7 years old. And so that's definitely not an adult. And the person was like, what the freak? Why am I paying $600 for some quiet time? And there's a kid in there. And they said that it was a father and a child, and that the dad was kind of sleeping and the child was rambunctious and bored inside the spa. Eventually, a spa worker noticed the situation, went over to the father and said, hey, man, look here. It sounds like a George Thorogood song. Hey, man, look at here. Come down over here, man. One bourbon, one scotch, one. Anybody know Thorogood Live? That's such a great... Hey, man, you can't have your 5 to 7 year old kid in here. This is adults only. It's clearly marked. And so he calls his wife, and she comes down and makes a big scene. And she makes it really a bad situation for the kid. Come on, honey. You're not welcome here. These people don't want you here. You have to leave now. They drag the kid out of there. And so on Reddit, it's an interesting mix of people saying, yeah, it's adults only. Get the kid to freak out of there, but other people saying, wow, I can't believe that, you're so anti-kid that you're going to scar this kid for life. It's the mom that scarred the kid for life by being a jerky. She should have just come in and got there. They shouldn't have brought the kid in there in the first place. Who's right, who's wrong in this situation? And then on other aspects of social media, there was a parent that was angry because they went to the adult comedy that's clearly marked 18 only on a Carnival cruise ship. They brought their 14 and 15-year-old kid, and when it was discovered that the youngins were in there, the under the 18 age people were in there, Carnival asked them to leave. And they were embarrassed, and they're like, we're a parent and we can determine whether our kids can hear adult comedy or not. Carnival said, no, them's the rules. They're saying, really, from the comedian's perspective, I can understand it. Could you imagine if you're in there laying out all kinds of filth, which the comedians, they will lay out all kinds of filth. We went to a lot of adult comedy when we were on the Carnival celebration. Filth was being laid out. So could you imagine if you're the person trying to lay out some filth, and it's not necessarily filth that you want youngins to hear, and so now you're kind of trying to like feeling weird in your comedy job. And let's not be naive. Adults like to hear filth. Right? So, I mean, we can get pious about it. We can get up on the high, oh, we don't want to hear no filth. But these adult comedy shows are packed with people that want to hear filth. So, grow up a little bit. And we shouldn't have the youngins in there. Carnival should throw kids out of shows that are marked 18 under. If it's the Serenity deck and it says you got to be at least 18 years old to be on the Serenity deck, you got to throw them kids out. F them kids. You got to throw them kids out. And if it's a swimming pool that says it's adults only at the private island, 18 or older, throw them kids out. And I'm not anti-kid, but I am pro rules. And if the rules say 18 and 18 and older, and you're not that, that's all I got. Come to the live show tonight. Tony for La Lido Loca. See you on the Lido. Bye.